Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are, ready for the weekly message from Spirit again. So good to connect with you. I apologize that I was missing in action last week. I was hoping to be able to do a reading on Wednesday night because I was on a plane on Monday night, but it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to happen. So anyway, I'm here now, and so we get to do some weekly messages from Spirit this week and connect in with all of you and to see who we can do readings for. So very cool. Hello, everybody. So we're going to start off tonight, as we always do, with the crystal that came forward for this week, and then move into the weekly message. And then I will do readings for whoever I get drawn to tonight. So the crystal came forward tonight is one of my absolute favorite crystals. I think I say that every week, so it's not really useful. But it is the ocean jasper, or the Atlantis stone. It's called the Atlantis stone. So I have a couple of pieces here, and it's useful to show them to you because you'll see that they come in different colors. So there's this a piece, it's raw on the one side, smooth on the other. It's ocean jasper. And then you'll see this one also, ocean jasper, very different coloring. And here's another one. And then there's two beautiful pieces here. These are some of my favorites. You'll see they're in hearts. So ocean jasper, Atlantis stone, and here's another one. Absolutely exquisite. So you can just kind of... So the ocean jasper, or Atlantis stone as it's called, is it's a complex stone. Yes, it's not. So the reason I say it's complex is it's a very, very peaceful crystal to work with. It's just got the ocean in it, and so it has this beautiful energy of awe and like presence to it. And so this is a crystal that helps us really attach ourselves to our magnificence, to our presence. And that's the complexity of it. It's so peaceful, yet it's one of the most elevating stones. So it also links to Atlantis and the Atlantean time. So it often has a connection to your own sort of Atlantean spirit, which obviously is very connected to water and the ascension process. And so there's a lot been going on with the Lionsgate portal and all the planets that are coming in retrograde and out of retrograde and doing all the things that planets do. And we're moving up to full moon this week. And this is really about connecting in with your essence, connecting in with the highest vibration of you, really aligning yourself to your truest north, I suppose is the way it's shown. Like, what is it that's holding you back from expanding into your light in the way that you can? And so tonight I keep getting the message that we're going to be focusing on expansion and ascension. How do we ascend? Ascend is the ascension process that we hear a lot about on Earth at the moment, which is about really moving from a place of power dynamics and believing in the struggle and the difficulty, and moving to a place of love and truly connectedness and oneness. Many of us that are energetically open are facing our own journey of releasing that which we're holding on to. So illusions are being shown at big time at this point in time. What are the illusions that you're buying into that are holding you separate from the true love and oneness that is available to you? And we all have so many of these illusions going on. Yes, Trace, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crystal to work with, the ocean jasper. So those of you that are only just come online, oh, look. It'll just give you a little bit of ocean jasper to make you happy. This beautiful heart, yeah. I love crystals and heart shapes. Okay, so let us see what the guides want to tell us for this week. So this is the universal message. It's a message that's available for all who listen to this message tonight or any time during this week. And so as always, we'll 3 cards. The first one is, what do we need to pay attention to this week? How do we need to wake up, shake up kind of card? And then what support is available for us this week? And then what opportunities exist for us this week? So let us see what they want to tell us. All right. I see somebody saying they missed my message last week. I wasn't around last week, so there was no message. So I apologize for that. But I'm back and we are doing what we need to do tonight. Very, very cool. So many of you online. So awesome, awesome, awesome to see. Right. Let's start with the weekly message that's available for everybody. Okay, so what do we need to pay attention to this week? Oh, so funny because I just pulled this card earlier today for somebody. Mind, body, heart, and spirit integration. Mind, body, heart, and spirit integration. So remember when I was talking about this beautiful ocean, Jasper, I was talking about, really embracing the magnificence of you. And in order to be truly magnificent, we need to deal with anything that is fragmented, anything that is pulling us in separate directions. There's always this awareness that when everything pulls together in one direction, that pulse, that vibration of us is so much stronger than when we are distracted or pulled apart, or the internal conflicts that we face. So never mind the external conflicts that exist, the internal conflicts. My mind wants this, my body wants that, my spirit wants this, and pulling us in opposite directions. But when we can really integrate, and integrate means that we become one. It's this intertwining energy. It's allowing everything to merge together. When we realize that our body serves us, and our heart soothes us, and our mind nourishes us, and our soul services us, when we can truly allow ourselves to notice how all these parts of ourselves are like one large system coming together. They're not here to work in opposite directions. Imagine in a car, if we had the wheels wanting to go in one direction, the engine wanting to go in another direction, the steering wheel wanting to take us in another direction, and the body of the car wanting to stay behind or do something different. Well, the reality is that we're not going to go anywhere, are we? We're really going to be quite stuck if everything's trying to do its own thing. And so how do we pull ourselves together? And this energy of integration, I remember doing a reading from the Diamond Ray Council, and somebody asked the question of them, how do you integrate? And they said, it's not an action, it's an allowance. So it's not an act, it's not something we need to do. It's an energy of getting out of the way and saying, okay, I am one. And in order to embrace your oneness, you have to value the various unique parts of you. How do I value my body? How do I value my heart? How do I value my mind? And how do I value my spirit without making any one of them more or less important than the other? That they all uniquely combine to provide different facets of performance, to give us different aspects of ourselves. And without any one aspect, we are not whole, we are not complete. So you can sit here at this point in time and notice which part of yourself are you rejecting, which part of yourself are you ignoring, which part of yourself are you not paying attention to. And how do I honor that part of me too? So pulling that all together. So in order to do that, many of you know the meditation that I often talk about when you do Lifting the Veil with me. I do this often. The meditation is, my body is, my heart is, my mind is, my spirit is, I am. And you simply ask those questions and notice the answers to that. Tonight I'm going to do it differently with you. And so if you want to do that now, I'm going to pause so you can actually just find the answers for yourself. So notice what answers drop in. My body needs. Whatever answer comes up. If you want to type it out, you can. My heart deserves. My mind longs for. My spirit is open to. and I embrace whatever comes after that. This is the meditation guides are saying you can work with. Whichever one you need to honor, all of these are important. Everything needs to pull in the same direction if you want to ascend. Your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit is like a targeted machine when it works together. Yeah. So then the card that comes forward in terms of what support is available for this, and the support that is available is you are safe. So really, really important to notice that the relationship between these cards. So this is what we need to pay attention to, and this is what support is available to us. And the support that is available to us is not so much something outside of us making us safe. It truly is embracing our own perspective of safety. What this means in a very specific way, they're saying, is that the thing that holds us fragmented is fear. Yeah. So fear, every time fear creeps in, fear and judgment, these are the two things, fear and judgment, whenever they creep in, our mind, heart, body, and spirit get fragmented. And so part of the glue of allowing ourselves to honor each part of ourselves is to not fear any aspect of ourselves. Now, the most important thing to not fear is your power. You're an amazing human being. You are here on purpose, and you're here with purpose. And so allowing yourself to step into this place of peace. If I was safe, what would I do? If I was safe, what would I allow? If I was safe, what would I create? If I was safe, what would I say? Yeah. And so particularly to engage with relaxing the body, this is probably the most important part for allowing ourselves to embrace integration, is to relax the body. Yeah. The heart is fearful of the vulnerability, so that's to embrace your vulnerability, to know you're safe there. The mind wants to understand, and so to know you're safe when you don't understand. And the spirit yearns for possibility. So you're safe when you're needing to be brave, when you're needing to find what's possible, to do something new. And I was doing a workshop in Namibia last week, and it was a workshop in corporates, and we were talking a lot about fear, because there was a lot of fear in the system, in the corporate system. And one of the messages came forward was, what is courage? And courage is simply the willingness to try something new. Every time we do something new, that is courage. Yeah? To do what we've always done, that is safe. Yeah? And this safety is asking us to be brave. It's asking us to jump, to take the leap, to do what we need to do. And so what's one small act you can take this week that is new? One new thing you can do. Yeah? That could be as simple as meditating, or it could be as big as asking somebody on a date. I don't know. What is new? What requires you to be brave? And so the final card that comes forward is the card around what opportunities exist this week. And the opportunity that comes forward this week is approach with lightness. I just love this. You really can't make this up. So as you connect all the parts of you and you embrace it, and you find your place of stillness, knowing that you are safe, how do you walk with lightness this week? And so those of you that haven't made the link, the I Am Light Walker is all about leaving a legacy of light behind you. Yeah? There's many things we can achieve. There's many things we can do. But when you walk, you have an impact. And when you turn behind you, there's a trail that you've left behind you. And so what is the trail that you've left behind you? And how do we leave a trail of light? Now, this can be, having a smile for somebody. This could be, honoring the earth. It could be greeting somebody. It can be any number of acts. The trick is, it's very easy when we're in a good place. And it's very easy when we're with people we like. And it's very easy when we're in a place where that is gentle and soft. To be light when it's required, which is in places of tenseness and darkness, and when things are overwhelmingly difficult, to be light, not only in bringing light to it, but to be light-hearted, light-spirited, to allow yourself to show up without this fear and this separation, letting yourself flow into it and saying, okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do here? Right, so that's the approach with lightness card. Right, so before I go into doing the readings, I'm going to be posting a link to a newsletter that you can sign up for. It's going to be an Ascension newsletter, and so once a month I'll be sending out an Ascension newsletter. You can get it in your inbox, and there'll be a video from me where I'm channeling a message from beings of light that I work with called the Diamond Ray Council, and it's going to be a message about Ascension, what it is that we need to be doing to ascend into the night. So I'll be putting up a link if you want to make sure you get that. It's not going to be on Facebook. It's going to be for those that sign up for it, so you can sign up for it and get it there. Right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, how exciting. So many beautiful people here. If you're enjoying these messages, please share it out to any groups and to anybody that you think would benefit from it. So I'm going to start doing some one-on-one messages. Very cool. I love doing one-on-one messages. The guys are saying that it's very useful to do messages around Ascension tonight, but if you would like just a general message or a specific message about something else, you can do that. Otherwise, if you want to ask about an Ascension message, you can do that. So those of you that have not been here before, welcome. Those of you that have been here many times before, welcome. Again, I love having this opportunity to connect with all of you. So as I do the one-on-one readings, I don't scroll back up. I am drawn intuitively to whoever's message is going to give the widest message to whoever's watching. So if you don't get called, it doesn't mean there isn't a message for you. Please listen to the other messages and you may find the one. You may have even got messages already because the universal message is just so amazing. Don't you agree? Right, so let us start and see here. Hammery de Base Fenta, general reading. Hello, Hammery, it's you. Right, let's see what your guys want to do. Salut tonight, Hammery. Yeah, I didn't realize it was you then. All right, okay. I'm just going to take a sip of water. All right, it's so lovely to see all these top fan badges. It's just such a lovely thing to see. Okay, Hammery, call back your spirit. Call back your spirit. There's a Vescapissus, so this is from the suit that has got the Vescapissus, and this is all about its expansion, but it's not so much expansion in the expanding out this way. This is more about creating portals for transformation. So it's like a stepping through process, and in that stepping through process, it's about embracing. This call back your spirit. The big word they're wanting me to leave you or create an awareness around is embrace. When you listen to the general reading, you can go and listen to that again if you haven't yet. And this embracing your power is a large part of what they're wanting to bring into your consciousness. You have the most amazing tendency to dismiss your power. You continuously have insights and intuitions and nudges and awarenesses, and then you will discount that down to luck or discount that into whatever it is. And every time you're doing this, it's almost like a batting away the ball that's being offered you. You are here with a very large, wait, let me find the right words. Your opportunity that exists in this lifetime is quite a large one. You have an opportunity to make a large difference, is what they want to say. I don't know why they want me to use the word large a lot, but they're not wanting me to use big or expansive. They're saying large. Like, it is it's a presence. It's a large presence, and energetically, you are born to stand out and hold a large presence in front of others. And every time you silence yourself and you sit back and you still yourself, you dismiss the skill and you dismiss this power. So they are really, really, really challenging you. And they are challenging. I'm like, oh, I don't like using that word, but they are challenging you to say, what's going to happen if you do? Yeah. This fear you have of being disruptive, and the fear you have of having too much impact, which means that you tend to hold yourself back and dismiss it, is really, really separating you from your power. They're kind of asking that you sit in the you take some time this week to sit in that integrative space of, how do I integrate to my spiritual gifts, my spiritual powers? And ask yourself this question over and over. How do I? Not what's holding me back, how do I? What's the step to take to truly step into the gift that is you? Good luck. I will see you soon. I hope that makes sense for you, my darling. Right, who is next? Samantha Becker. Ascension message or general guidance would be so appreciated. All right. Okay, so just when I talk about ascension, just so that it's clear for whoever's watching, ascension is about really expanding our energy field. Think about, we all have a light within us, and this is sort of the contribution of our light to the world. We tend to dim it quite a lot, and we have this sort of dimmer switch that we have. And the ascension is really, it's like an upgrade energetically. It's about moving from being sort of like I always use the example of being like a little globe in a light in a house to being a floodlight. And that ascension process is that expansion process, the ability to expand more into your light. What do you need to do or remove or face or heal so that you can step more into that light? Right, so Samantha Becker, let us see what they want to tell you about that tonight. So they're coming up with what is holding you back from ascending into your light. And the message is fire the critic. Fire the critic. I love this picture, don't you? There's this guy standing there very happy with his balloon, all his joy and happiness. He's walking around with all the fun in the world. And there's this big shadow just trying to, pop it. Let me just pop your balloon. Let me just, like a big meanie. Yeah. And this critic that we have, this big meanie that exists inside of our mind, is the one that sounds like this. Who am I to? You're not good enough to. What if you fail? What if you can't? I don't think you're clever enough. I don't think you're smart enough. I don't think you've got this. I don't think you can do this. And every time we let this critical message filter into our being, there's a part of us that hears it. There's a part of us that hears it. And that part of us that hears it feels hurt. And every time we hurt ourselves this way, and we all do this, the opportunity is in saying, no, that is not true. And the reason the critic exists within our consciousness is there to provoke the no, that's not true. So that we can truly step into the belief of who we are. And so the critic is a provoker of light. It's not there to dim it. It's a provocative teacher. Yeah? But often it's winning. And so whenever any of us get this message from the critic, no, it's not true. It's not true. I won't believe that. It's not true. And every time you can rebuttal it with it's not true, you step more into the light that is you. So find your critic. One of the things that's come forward in a couple of readings I've done is give it a name. What's your critic's name? Is it a male? Is it a female? What does it look like? Where is it? Yeah. And so what's your critic's name? And so then you can say, hey, Sebastian, not true. Now that's my critic's name. If your name's Sebastian, I apologize because I was not talking to you. But allowing yourself to face that critic with humor, with lightness, with it's not true. And if it carries on, you can tell it to fuck off. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear on Facebook. Off. With love and light, of course. So there we have it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message. Oh, such lovely messages coming forward tonight, aren't they? All right, Angela Carney. Do you have a message for me tonight, Kenny? I do. How do I move forward? What voices do I listen to? Never know if it's my anxiety or a voice I need to hear. All right, so as I pull a message, your specific card, I just want to address that voice of the anxiety versus the voice of intuition. Many people think the voice of fear, anxiety is an aspect of fear, and specifically anxiety is the fear that I'm not going to deal with my life. There's unknown things going to happen and I'm not strong enough to deal with them. Very simplified way of dealing with, of sharing what anxiety is, but given the time we've got. And so when we say listen to your gut, and that's often one of the ways that we talk about intuition, we say listen to your gut. And we need to understand fear is the first instinct that we get in our gut. And so there's 3 layers that happen. We first have instinct. Instinct is the animalistic instinct to fight or flight. So like, there's danger, I'm going to die, I must fight, I must flight. That first needs to be calmed down. Then we get the voice of fear and anxiety, which is the voice that is linked to our own prescripted ideas of what is dangerous and what is safe. And if you listen to the overall message, we've got this you are safe sort of thing. And then we get the voice of intuition, which is a connection to your higher self. And so in order to connect to your intuition, you need to calm down the physical, which means knowing you are safe. And we need to calm down the emotional, which means you are safe. That's why that card, you are safe, is so important that we got earlier. Then we can start to listen to our intuition. And the way you can discern your intuitive voice is, or your link to your intuition, is there's never any drama attached to it. Never any drama. Your fear will sound like, oh, if you don't do this, this is going to happen, this is dangerous. It's a big, long storytelling session. Your intuition gives you an instruction, says go left. Speak up. Say this. Do that. It is non-dramatic. Yeah? And so in order to get to that, you can sometimes go, what is my instinct? The animal in me wants to. What is my fear? The child in me wants to. And then what is my intuition? The higher part of me wants to. And you'll learn how to connect in with that. So it is a little bit of learning that art and that presence. So that's for everybody that's here. Let me just see what your specific message is, Angela. Oh, you see, I love the gut. There is only love. There is only love. Yeah. So what's important about this message is that as we were talking about discerning between this instinct and this anxiety or fear, and then your intuition, and being able to work through those layers, loving what is will always take us through this. So resistance or rejection or pushing things away is always going to make our fears amplified. But when I love what is, I bring love to it. Love is the ultimate alchemy that soothes and brings us to a place of calmness. And so if somebody cuts me off in the traffic and I can just bring, there'll be irritation or fear or like insecurity, whatever comes up, then I can say, okay, let me just love this moment too. Then I can calm right down and I can connect with my intuition, which can tell me if I'm really, really in danger or not. Yeah. The beauty of this card, if you have a look at it nicely up and close, and some of you have seen this before, is when you're looking at far away, we see this beautiful heart. When you look at it closely, there's all sorts of interesting things in there. There's scissors, there's a tea strainer, there's a knife and fork, there's all sorts of Brussels sprouts, which are not typically what people like. Yeah? And so it's beautiful too. Every aspect of life is beautiful. Every aspect of you and your life needs to be loved. And when you love it in the unconditional aspect of love, suddenly it's transformed and we can find a calmer way of facing it. And then we can connect to the voice that you do need to hear. Right, so very, very cool. I hope that makes sense for you, my darling. Let us see. Lorianne de Campley Douglas. Let's see what your guides would like to tell you. Such beautiful readings coming forward tonight. Well, I think they're beautiful. It feels beautiful to me, so. Right. All right, Lorianne. Let's see. Pleasure, Angela. All right, Lorianne. Why have I lost you here? Why is the pin gone? All right, Lorianne, I just want to check. There you are. It was this one. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad, Angela. Ascension or otherwise. So they are showing that this is a reading relative to ascension, to expanding your energy and what is holding you back from expanding into the fullness of your energy. And the message coming forward is coping is not the same as healing. Coping is not the same as healing. When you have a look at this card, you see this yin-yang symbol, which is all about owning the part you're playing. And we can see this girl, and she's got the, the existential thing that we often see, the happy face, the sad face, and then the mask. And the mask is something that most of us walk around doing, is that we've had so many disappointments, I think is the word that's coming forward for you, is when life, it's disappointing. It just doesn't go the way we wanted it to go, and and things happen that we didn't see coming, and it's difficult. Like this life on earth, it's a playground. It's a tough playground. It's one of the toughest schools to come to, and so when these tough things happen, we tend to put on our big girl panties or our big boy pants and get on with things, and we just deal with it, and this can make us quite strong. We feel like, and people will even say like, oh, I don't know how you're dealing with that, you're so strong. But the truth of it is that there's a coping mechanism which makes us strong, but there's a point of healing which is not so much about going back and reliving anything, but it's about identifying the opportunity that exists in what has happened. And this identifying the opportunity that exists in what has happened is not the same as spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is something that many of us do, where we try and see the bigger picture and make light of what has happened. And we'll use words like everything happens for a reason, and this is, I'm stronger because of this. Being stronger is not the goal. Being more real, being more open, being more expansive, being more empathetic, being more compassionate, being more tolerant. That is what these things offer us. But being stronger, braver, tougher, harder, that's not the goal. That's the mask. And so stepping into the vulnerability of healing is allowing ourselves to see the gift within it. And this is not something to be done without compassion and kindness. It means feeling it. Healing requires feeling. And feeling it, and feeling the disappointment or the heartbreak or the pain, and finding spaces and places and people to share that with, so that you can embrace the gift of your humanity, that as a human being, you have these experiences, and in the softness of you, you become more awakened to that which makes you amazing. And so vulnerability and all these things is actually the strength, the power within us. Remaining soft and gentle in a tough world, that is the work of the light walker, the light worker, the person that is here to help share things in the world. And it's not the easiest thing for any of us to do. And so the message that's coming up for you specifically, Lorianne, is to have a look at what in your life have you contributed to your toughening up, and how can you go into that and notice what's the gift in it, yeah, and how do you soften into your light rather than toughen up into your light. I hope that makes sense for you, Lorianne. Beautiful message for everybody online tonight. Oh, really, really, really beautiful messages coming forward. All right, let us see who is next. Who is next? Who is next? Who is next? Isn't it just Lisa? All right. All right, Melanie Boardman, is there any message for me regarding my current situation, please? All right, let us see. Pleasure, Lorianne. No, that one. Let's don't always pronounce your name correctly. Lorraine. Lorraine de Beer. Sorry. All right. Oh, you just feel the energy tonight. Just so beautiful. So, so beautiful. All right. So, Melanie. All right. Melanie, the card that's come forward for you is we are all connected. You are not alone. We are all connected. You are not alone. When I connect in with you and your female guide is the one that steps forward to give you this message tonight, the overwhelming sense I get is one of loneliness, of feeling like you're alone in the world. And I must admit, in the last few days, I've had quite an awareness around facing a lot of my own feelings of loneliness, feeling quite abandoned in the world. And that seems to be the way that they are talking to you about it. It's this feeling of abandonment or loneliness, or feeling like nobody's with you or nobody cares. And it's not a feeling, it's not like a knowing that nobody cares. There is the awareness that they are, but it's a feeling. And this feeling comes from almost, your female guide shows me like this, a part, okay, let me try and explain the way they're showing this. So, okay, all right, Lorian, okay, sorry, Lorian, there we go. The way your guides are showing it, Melanie, is that when we face sort of tough times, and we can have different tough times. So we could have something we need to make a decision about with regards to money, or there could be something about relationships, or it could be something about work, or it could be something about this. Is that somehow in our experience of life, we've come to a point of decision about which part of us is going to make decisions around this. And so if there's a wound, we kind of then regress back to the part of ourselves that we've put in place to make decisions about that. And so if let me give an example, the way they're showing it. If my first time my heart was broken, I was 14 years old. And then I decided then that, okay, well, I will never let anybody hurt me again. You know? And so that's the part I put in place that said, right, that's the part that's now going to make decisions about relationships. And so whenever it comes to a relationship kind of aspects, I engage that part of me. I almost regress back to that the 14-year-old me, and she comes forward to make the decisions. And what we lose out then is we lose out on all the wisdom we've gained along the way, because Taryn at 45 can make very different decisions to 14-year-old Taryn can. But because that's where the wound was, and that's where the decision was around how to take care of myself, I go back to that place and use that until I notice that, and almost give 14-year-old Taryn what she needs. And I say, I'm sorry you were heartbroken. We can handle it. It's okay. We'll deal with it. I can sort us out now. And she can take a step back and I can take a step forward. Now, this sounds a little bit strange by I'm saying it, but we all have this sort of internal process that we have going on. And so the part of you that you are wanting to make a decision about what's going on in your life at this point in time is quite a young part of you, and she's a very lonely part of you. And so she's not always able to find the support that she needs and to let people help her make the decisions that she needs. And so if you can hear this message and you can give her what she needs, which is the opportunity to know that she's safe and you will take care of this. And then you, as almost the adult version of you, can go forward and get the advice you need, because there is advice needed. There is advice needed to decide what needs to be done. It's not something you have the internal knowledge of how to do or how to resolve. So you do need to get some advice. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps you, my darling. All right. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Lisa Fuller, any message for me tonight? Lots of hearts. I love hearts. You can give me lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of hearts. The world needs hearts. It can spread love. That's what social media is for, is to spread love. All right, let us see what your guides would like to tell you tonight, Lisa. All right. Oh, I'm so glad, Melanie. There you go. Wow. Oh, lots of hearts. Oh, I see lots of hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep them coming. All right, Lisa, the message that's come forward for you is remove the doubt. Remove the doubt. This seems to be an ascension message. I'm not sure if you were asking for an ascension message anywhere earlier, but this is really about how you are holding yourself back from stepping into more and more of your light. So I hope that you had asked. There's lots of hearts happening. So lovely. It makes me very, very, very happy. All right. So there's a crossface. Who's sending crossfaces? Okay. So no crossfaces allowed on my show. All right, Lisa. So the way your guides come forward is it's like I don't know why your guides are showing me this. You know, your male and your female guide have stepped forward. And I'm not sure if you remember like a childhood game where you clap hands and you clap your hands against each other, and then you go up and down and you clap and you do this, and there's a whole little song that you get sung with it. For some reason, they're coming forward and they're doing that. So they've got the whole little hand and they're clapping and they're doing this whole little thing. And they're working as a team. So they are, you know, in order to do that, firstly, we need somebody else we're going to clap hands with. I mean, even me sitting here doing this, I feel quite stupid, like who am I clapping hands with? So there needs to be a partnership. And in the partnership, we need to find a synchronicity. And that synchronicity is playing together. And as we play together, this game manifests itself into life. So this is a little bit of the way they're showing your relationship with them is being able to trust that they're going to clap back. You know, if I'm going to play the game with you, I can't try and control your hand too. I need to, you know, trust that you're going to play back. You're going to play the game. Yeah, and this is something they want to offer you, is that you want to play, but you doubt it. You want to trust the divine, the guidance, your internal guidance, your intuition, all this that comes up for you around trusting the invisible, you know, which goes against mainstream thoughts and it goes against the way people think about it. But you can trust energy and you can trust the divine. You can trust that they're going to play back. But if you doubt it, then they can't. Because that's a blockage. It creates a sort of sense of blockage. So they're asking for you to kind of find a way to have more faith, to trust yourself, trust your inner knowing, trust it. Yeah, play. They want to clap, they want to do some music with you. I hope that makes sense for you, my love. Right, I just need some water. Oh, it's okay, Alice. Oh, sorry. Angry face was a mistake. Laugh out loud. Perfect. All right. Let's see who's next. Oh, shame you're feeling bad about it. Oh, perfect, Sally Ann. Right. All right, Alice. Let's do a message for you, seeing as you so apologetic for your angry face. So funny. Oh, good. I'm glad, Lisa. I'm glad. All right, Alice, let us see what your guides would like to tell you tonight. All right. Okay. All is exactly the way it's supposed to be. All is exactly the way it's supposed to be. They tell me, even as I just pull this card and I say this to you, like every part of you knows what they're talking about. And the questions you've been asking in terms of wondering what's going on or wondering what's happening, they're saying this message will resonate with you straight away. So all is exactly the way it is supposed to be. Now, when we understand this card, everything is just perfect. Everything is just fine. It doesn't mean it's the way we want it to be. So this is the biggest challenge is I might want something to be this way, but I might want to go to work in a bikini, but this is the body I have, or this is the weather that's going on, and this is what's going on. So the ability to embrace what is and to see the opportunity in it, to see the gift in it, that really is the art of surrender and the ability for us to truly embrace life on life's terms. When we can do that, we can see the magic, we can see the opportunities. There's a state of surrender called radical acceptance, which is about imagining that every second of every moment of every day, everything that happens is exactly what you wanted, exactly the way you needed it to be. So there's a state of non-resistance that allows you to embrace it. When we have a look at the picture on this card, you can see there's this pottery plate, and it's broken and it's been put together with this gold resin. And this is really, it's an ancient Japanese art of actually never ever throwing away. It's always making something more beautiful than it was. But it was broken and it was put together with gold, and that made it even more useful, even more beautiful. So there's a lot around this card that's about letting things fall apart and to see the gift of them, to see the beauty of them. It's not always easy. It's not always something that doesn't come with emotion. There could be quite a lot of emotion going on for you, but it's all is exactly the way it is supposed to be. So I hope that resonates and makes sense for you, my darling. All right, Melga Stander, what's going on here? Why do I get like I better talk too quickly? The art of surrender, exactly right. Exactly right. Where did I go here? Melga Stand. I need a card, please. Need guidance with insecurity. All right, let's see here. Okay, Melga, what's going on? Why do I get this overwhelming pain? Melga, are you in any physical pain? If you're ready to answer that, if you're willing to answer it. You see me a while ago, yeah? Are you in physical pain? So Margot, when I connect in with you, I just get this overwhelming pain in my head. I just want to check if there is physical pain or if this is just something that they... Oh, beautiful Alice. No pain in my mind with my partner. Okay, Melga, yes, I remember now. Okay. Be real about what you feel is the card that's come forward for you. Be real about what you feel. All right, so, okay. All right, so be real about what you feel is this is not so much about be real about what you feel with other people. This is more about taking accountability for your feelings for yourself. There's a lot coming up about who's responsible for caring for you, who's responsible for taking care of how you feel. And this is a difficult thing for all of us, for many of us, is the allowing ourselves to be loved and supported and cared for. But when it comes to our insecurities and our doubts and our pain, we are responsible for that and for how we navigate that. This doesn't mean that other people may not amplify it and trigger it and or soothe it in whichever way they can. But if I can only love you to the extent that you love yourself. I can only be kind to you to the extent that you can receive kindness. I can only care for you to the extent that you're willing to receive care. And many of us have quite a lot of obsessions about our own insecurities and fears that we block receiving. We block receiving love, receiving care, receiving compassion. We don't allow ourselves to experience it because we're so in the projection of something bad's going to happen. And in this way, we need to take responsibility for our own insecurities and our own traumas and our own difficulties, that nobody else can change that, nobody else can make that better for you. It's 100% your responsibility. And so taking on board this is a bit, be real about what you feel. There's a journal there. It's about starting to work through your insecurities with a therapist or with somebody that is available to support you, and learning how to find new stories to tell yourself, because there's this beating yourself up energy that is coming forward quite significantly. So I hope that makes sense for you, Margaret. The head pain was almost that feeling of beating yourself up that came forward. Right. Let us see here. Who's next? Christine van Staden. Let's see, Christine. Right. If you're wanting a message, just keep asking. As I said, I don't scroll back up and look for them. But if you're not chosen, it does not mean there's not a message for you. So, oh, I'm so glad, Angela. That's the benefit of the way the guides work with me, is they pick people that the messages can resonate with as many as possible. All right. Christine, the choice is yours to make. What decisions do you need to make? What decisions? I think there was another message of Christine. I just want to see. No. The choice is yours to make. Right, so when we make decisions, or when we need to make decisions, I'm not sure what decisions it is that you feel like you need to make, Christine. It seems like there's some, in your case, it feels like some smaller decisions maybe that need to be made. I mean, learning to exercise our choice points and really to take accountability for the choices we make, understanding that not making a choice is a choice in itself, is that every action we take is in some way us creating the next step on our path and doing what it is that needs to come next. And the thing around choice is very interesting, because so often we talk about choice being the most important thing, but what's more important with choice is what drives the choice. Yeah? So I can make a choice every minute of every day, but if the choice underpinning that is fear or other people, you know? So if I get to something and I'm needing to do it, and if behind that the thing that drives the decision, that drives the choice I make, is one that is overwhelmingly about fear, then that's what's behind that choice. If behind the choice is, well, my mother will like me more if I do this, or I'm going to fit in more, or it's just I'll keep the peace by doing this. Well, then it's more about other people than it is about yourself. And then when we make choices that are driven by our intuition or by our higher self, that's a different choice. Now, understand, and this is really, really an important thing they're saying, the thing we decide to do could be the same, but the energy behind it shifts it. And the energy behind it is what manifests itself. That becomes the law of attraction. So if I choose to eat toast for breakfast, yeah, and the energy behind that is because I'm scared of eating fruit. I'm really making this up now. Well, then that's the energy behind it. I could be eating toast because my mother's always told me to eat toast. Or I could be eating toast because I really, really love toast. Whatever's the energy behind the choice, that's what we manifest. And that's the important thing to understand. So there are many people asking about decisions tonight. And Christine, they're using your message to support with many people, is that when it comes to the choice, is to sit back and say, what is my fear choice? What is my choice to please others? And what is the choice of my heart, the choice of my intuition? And to follow the choices of your intuition, that is the thing that's going to set you free. Yeah? And the other choices are not bad or not wrong. It just, that's what the energy that continues to manifest in your life. So learning how to make the choice from, I think it was a beautiful quote by Nelson Mandela. It said, may your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. And really that's what this message is coming down to tonight. All right, let us see who is next. Andrew Murray, massive decision to be made. All right, Andrew, they're saying, listen to the last message. They're saying, listen to the last message. That's the message I'm getting, is listen to the message I've just been given. I've just given about choice is yours to make. Right, let us see who is next. Christine, pleasure, Christine. Karen Amelia Powell. Karen Amelia Powell. There you go, Andrew. So listen to that message and see what resonates for you around that. Yeah. Help. Please help, Taryn. Right, Karen, they're telling me that we need to talk offline. There's something else going on there. I'm going to say Tundi Road. Right, let's see what your guides want to tell you. All right. Tundi, the message that's coming forward for you is be real about what you feel. Be real about what you feel. So this came forward just now already. But it is a different message for you. So let me just see how they want to talk to you about it. Sandy, it seems to me the way that this message is coming forward when it said be real about what you feel is it's so much more permission to express your desires. So it seems to be about speaking up about what you desire most. It's like you have this tendency to downplay what you want a little. almost apologetic for what you want, for what you desire, and be real about what you feel is starting to notice where do you want more in your life, and noticing that that's okay. You can have more, you can be more, you can do more. And that's not a greed. It's an expansion, and allowing yourself to expand into the moreness of things is really, really an important part of life. And so you tend to almost downplay a lot of what you desire, what you want, or what you wish for. And this card is about coming forward and saying, like, you can step into that. You can ask. You know, my boyfriend always says, ask for what you want 100% of the time, and always be okay if the answer is no. And it's a beautiful principle for working with spirit. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. So it's about, like, really, really step into that. What do you desire? What do you wish for? What do you want? Really, really important energy for you to step into. All right, so there we go. That brings us to the end of the readings tonight. It's been awesome connecting in with all of you. Have a listen. I promise you there's a message that will resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. That's the way it works. And I look forward to seeing you all next week, Monday. Sending lots of love. Namaste.